Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and today the Washington Commanders went from 85 players on the roster to 80 by placing Chase Young on the reserve pup list, meaning he's out for the first 4 games. They did this with Tyler Larson as well. They released Kelvin Harmon and Rashad Hill and placed Nathan Gary on IR. We'll talk about all that and much more. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content on the road to 9,000 subscribers. So please help me get there. Also, check out Real Time Fantasy Sports, link in the description. And before we get into the video, comment down below, when do you think Chase Young will come back? So we'll start off with the kind of basic moves. So they placed Tyler Larson on the reserve/pup list, meaning he'll be out for the minimum of 4 games. Same thing as Chase Young. We'll talk about that later. So they're gonna need a backup center. So I really think that Wes Schweitzer is if Trey Turner comes back and he's healthy, I think Wes Schweitzer will be a reserve, will be a backup, so that if any of the guards gets hurt, or, Chase Roulier, hopefully not, but, if he gets hurt, then Wes Schweitzer can come in and be the backup center because, besides that, they have Keith Ismail, and that's really it. So, hopefully Tyler Larson can come back soon, but that is totally expected that he was going to start on the reserve pup list because he ruptured his Achilles last year, and it wasn't early in the season. It was after Chase Young and all those guys. So, it's expected that he'd be out for probably at least like a couple more games after that. So, nothing crazy there. Nathan Gary to IR. Don't know what happened with him, but he's out. And hey, they might need to get another linebacker. They should get another linebacker. Now that Gary's out, he had a shot to make the roster. He probably was going to make the roster as that 5th linebacker. Sign AJ Klein, please, or Alexander Johnson, or someone that can come in there and help you out because the linebacker depth is not great right now. So go out there, get AJ Klein. So he's done, and it seems like everyone that was playing tight end is out. Obviously he's a linebacker, but he was playing with the tight ends. He got hurt, and then let's see, Kelvin Harmon and Rashad Hill released. Rashad Hill, not a huge surprise. They signed him late in camp. And, he was a tackle. He had some NFL experience, but he's released. They had to get down to 85 or 80 somehow. So they decided to cut him or release him. Nothing crazy there. And then Kelvin Harmon, again, he's a bigger name. He was drafted here a few years ago, but not much of a surprise. The, receiver room is kind of already crowded, and you kind of already know who's making it. You have Terry, of course, Jahan, Curtis Samuel. Those guys are locks. You got Cam Sims, De'Ami Brown, that's 5, and then likely Dax Milne with 6. So, those guys are making the team. Dax Milne, who knows? I think he will, but there's a shot he doesn't. But Kelvin Harmon really never had a shot to make it. Maybe, I don't know why they didn't because I heard there was some rumblings about him possibly being a tight end, switching to tight end last year. Well, they had so many injuries at the tight end position that he could have done it. They had to go out on the streets and get some of these tight ends that, just play in games. So he could have done that and maybe been on the roster for a little bit longer. But when I was there for training camp, he was playing pretty well. I heard from other people as well that he was balling out, but it just, there's really no upside with Harmon. I think he's a perfect practice squad player. So, if no one claims him, I would love to have him back on the practice squad because he knows the system. He has chemistry with the quarterbacks. He knows, his teammates. And, he's a vet now. So he can come in there and play a little bit for you if needed. So, those are the moves. Nothing crazy. We'll talk about Chase Young now. So they moved him from the pup list to reserve pup. So basically pup, if you're just on the normal pup list, physically unable to perform, you just can't practice, but you can come off of it anytime before, I believe, the final 53-man roster is finalized. But once you get moved to once the roster is finalized, you can't just be on the pup. I believe you have to actually be on the pup reserve list, or you just count for a roster spot. Because when you're on the pup reserve list, you don't count as a roster spot. So, he's missing 4 games minimum, which unfortunate, but we've, learned more about the injury, and it's understandable why he's going to be out for the first 4 games and maybe a little bit longer than that. So First couple games, I mean, obviously, I would love to for him to be back week 1 against the Jaguars. We know it's not happening, but at least our 2 games in the beginning are a little bit easier. But we do have Cowboys at week 4, which he's not going to be there, which sucks. So that is really unfortunate. Here's something from Jordan Schultz. He says, full Chase Young update per a source. ACL surgery was more significant than most because he also suffered a fully ruptured patella, which is why he's starting on reserve PUP. Impressive all-around recovery. Commanders' plan for Young's return is week 5 versus the Titans. So I guess that's what he's saying is the plan. So, I mean, week 5 is probably, mid-October, sometime in there. So that's when we'll see him, but who knows? Could be a little bit later than that. But now we know the earliest, possible date for Chase Young to come back is week 5 versus the Tennessee Titans. So, and I believe that is at home against the Titans. So that is definitely, unfortunate, but we kind of knew that it was trending that way, especially after, Rivera maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, said that Chase Young was going to miss the opening game and kind of hinted that it would be more than that. And that was like 3 weeks ago. So if you're saying that 3 weeks ago, kind of knew that he was going to be out for probably at least the first 4 weeks. So we'll see. Before I, found out that there was, the surgery was more complicated. Like when we found out a couple months ago, I thought he was going to be ready for week 1, but not happening. And hopefully we can get him back soon. And then some other injury updates. Phidarian Mathis, they had practice today. He walked out of over to the medical tent, had a slight limp. I don't think there was an injury update on that. Hopefully he's all good. He should be all good. And then Andrew Norwell is back out there today, was there yesterday as well. So that's very, very good news because the guard position was, getting pretty thin. And then let's go down to yesterday because there was some other news there. And, of course, Sonny Jurgensen's number is going to be retired. I believe it's the last week of the season against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just trying to find the tweet. Wes Schweitzer was back, which is great, at left guard, and gonna need him for sure. And Charles Leno Jr. was back. He had a slight medical issue, didn't play in the preseason game, and didn't practice the last kind of few days. So those are the injury updates. Good for the most part, except for Phidarian Mathis. We'll see what happens there. Here's a clip of Logan Thomas doing some work with the tight end group, so that's good to see right there. So I'll show you guys that clip. And yeah, I think he will be ready for week 1, and that'll be huge for Washington, especially Carson Wentz. He loves to throw to his tight ends. You can see that explosiveness right there from Logan Thomas. He loves to throw it to the tight ends. Did it with Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, and Logan Thomas is a big target for him. Going to be great in the red zone. I think Logan Thomas is going to have a good year. Who knows? Maybe the first few weeks will start out a little bit slow because, it takes a while to adjust coming back. He might be in shape, but not football shape. So it might take him a few weeks, but I think he will be back to the Logan Thomas we saw in the 2020 season, which, in my opinion, was one of the better tight ends in the NFL. No, he's not elite, but I think when he is healthy, he's a top 10 guy, and I think that's what we're going to get this year. So, and yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. And let me know any videos you guys want to see in the next couple days. I have a Cole Turner video coming out soon, and hopefully we can get Cole Turner and John Bates back soon because both those guys have been out for a while. I think Cole Turner will be fine. It was a slight tweak of the hamstring. Those injuries got to be more cautious with, but John Bates has been a while, so hopefully they're back. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.